Hi everybody, as I've recently mentioned, I'm currently working on improving my camera setup. You can see one of my problems here. As you may well know, with YouTube, the quality of video has been pushed forward so hard in recent years that you really do need to keep up, otherwise you tend to fall behind. It doesn't need to be bad quality, but when you compare it to something that's like 4K or very, very clear, very quickly what was acceptable starts looking not so acceptable. So you've got to keep pushing forward to increase the quality of your video to keep up with the current sort of medium, as it were. Now, you can do that through buying cameras, which is something I've done, but you can also do that through lighting. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story about how... Well, that was not an entrance to the Fresh Prince. When I first started, I used a halogen spot lamp, which gave me a horrible yellow light. Then I tried using a LED panel light, which is what is above the camera, but it's good for giving a bit of sort of fill light, but it's not very good for getting all angles. And with a lot of cameras, if you get lots of light, you get fantastic quality. If it's a bit too low, it looks grainy and fuzzy and the cameras don't work so well. So you can improve the look of a lower quality camera by just using better lighting. My little camcorder, which I've used before I got this current camera, was terrible in low light, but if you got it in good light, it looked fantastic, and it was so frustrating that you could use it outside and everything looked so clear and crisp, and in here it looked like a dank dungeon. So I've still got the light panel above, which is just like an LED ceiling light, and then behind me I have a 1000-watt LED outdoor flood lamp, which is great for lighting the garage and again giving lots of light to the general area. But you can see one of the problems I have is that it's behind me. So I was interested in getting some more lighting in here for when I'm building stuff and doing product reviews and things like that, but also for when I'm doing bike maintenance videos in here where I want to show you something up tight and it's so dark. I've even used torches in the past and frankly it's not very professional looking. So this is the solution in my mind. And now let me tell you the strange story about how this came about, how I got these items. I have used Neewer products in the past. I've actually talked about them in video. The grip for my 600D is made by Neewer. This is like I think it's like a fifth of the price of the official Canon one, and it works fantastically. And it's built great. So my current experience with buying Neewer products has been really good up to now. I was looking on Amazon for some lights, saw them and thought that is something I should definitely think about getting soon. I followed Neewer on social media because I haven't up until now. I'd be interested to see the sort of things they produce. The very next day I get an email from Neewer basically saying, hey, we like your channel, we like what you do. Is there any products of ours that would be useful to you that you'd like to get for review and use as you make videos? I just replied to them and said, this is bizarre. I was on Amazon looking at lights yesterday, made by you. And they said, well, which ones was it? So we got discussing, and basically these are the lights they've sent me. So complete open and honesty about this, I have been sent these for review for free by Neewer, but I was looking at buying them myself like the day before. So it's absolutely fantastic that I can get my hands on these. So what I've got here is the Neewer Dimmable Bi-Colour LED light panels. They look a little like this. Now, because as you can see, as I mentioned, my lighting isn't great in here, and you get two of them in the kit, I'm going to use one of these to help improve the lighting while I unbox this one and show you it. So let me just quickly do that and I can show you the difference. Okay, that only took 2 seconds to do and you'll see why in a minute. These are fantastically simple. So let's switch it on. This is the before. See, skin colour, box colour, everything. Turn it on. And I've just done this by eye on the camera screen to get the white balance correct. But as you can see, I've got pinks, I've got the blues to bring everything out. It's a nice even tone of light. I've reduced the shadowing from behind. It's still there, but I haven't got the second light on. And also I haven't got these lights exactly where I want them yet. Okay, so without further ado, it's marked as the NL-480 on here, and I think that is because there is 240 LEDs which are white and 240 LEDs which are yellow, which gives you your mix. You'll see in a minute. Each light comes in its own little box like this, and then each light has its own little case like this. So as you can see, it's a very small package for just one light. So a couple of lights doesn't take up a lot of space. These are very, very mobile, and more so when you see some of the features that this has. So let's just open it up. Okay, so this is just a little card to basically say if you have any problems, get in contact with them and they'll help you. So that's worth noting. Then you have an instruction manual which consists of basically one page because there's not really a lot to say. And there's just a little note to again remind you to use the manual. Okay, so here is the light itself. little silica gel packet to keep it dry and shipping. And then in the bag, so I'm going to get this out of the way, you also have the power pack. You use one of these per light and the cord. Should we say the widest point is about 25 centimeters, highest point is about 27 centimeters. The actual display is 20 centimeters by 16.5, so it's not quite square. We've got these little clips either side which can be lifted up and pushed down, and they just retain this, which is the diffuser panel. And there you can see rows and rows of LEDs. So this goes white LEDs, yellow, white, yellow, so it alternates. You'll see that in a minute. You've got mounting holes on each corner. I believe that's for like the barn door system, you know, with the doors, if you want more of a directional light. I want these to just give me general light in a general direction and diffuse together, so as they are is fine using that diffuser. These are designed to fit the normal lighting fixtures you get for, you know, video lights, for photography, flashlights, studio lights. It's this little adapter which I'll show you in a minute. But basically, if you look at this, where it goes in, it just goes in and this screw clamps onto it. You can go in through the bottom to give you a vertical mount, or you can do it this way, straight through. And that's a good time to switch it over and show the other side. I'm just going to put that diffuser back on so I'm not touching all the LEDs. As I mentioned, you've got these little clips that lift up and just stop that from coming out. So clip them up, and that's in there securely. Obviously, once the light's mounted, you can tilt it to where you want, and then you can use these locking knobs to just tweak them down and it'll hold it in place. And that's a very nice secure fit, but you can also do it just loose enough that you can still move them easily, but they won't move on their own. The construction, this is metal, this edge is plastic, this is metal, these are metal. This obviously is plastic because it's the housing, but this is a very nice construction, solid materials. It's not overly heavy, but it has got a little bit of heft to it because it's a quality thing. I'm very impressed by the build quality. Okay, so on the back you have your power jack input, you have your switch. This side goes for when you're using this power, and this side goes for when you're using the batteries, because you can get battery packs, 2 of them that will fit in here, and you can use this as a completely standalone mobile unit. They do different sizes of batteries depending on like how much life you want. Look on Amazon actually. I'll put a few things in the links in the bottom so you can have a look. But yeah, to be able to run these on external batteries means these become completely mobile units, which is fantastic. And this is what I was referring to earlier, saying these can be anywhere. You don't need plug-in power. Your main controls are just these two. So you just switch it on, and then this one dims your white LEDs from completely off to maximum, and the same thing for the yellow. You can have all yellow, all white, or you can have a mixture of the two. I will now plug this in to show you. Okay, so the white ones, as you can see the lighter I turn it, the more the exposure is being knocked down by the camera. But there's your whites, and here's your yellows. Do is something with a bit of colour on it. Let's go with camera there. These are like a baby blue. Just before I do this, I'll show you one of the nice things you can do is you can almost use these where you can use them desk mounted. You just put the stand like that, and then you can adjust where you want it on your desk. If you just want side light, forward light, if you just need to light a small area. Okay, I'm going to stand to the opposite side of the light that's currently on them. Hopefully this should remove some more shadows. So here's just the blue light. It doesn't look too bad actually, although my grey background helps with this. Let's try the yellow. Yeah, you can see that's very yellowy. If we combine the two, so we've got maximum of both. It looks a little yellow to me. I would probably have it around, and I'm only going off the screen on the camcorder here. Something like that. It actually looks like some generally good reproduction of the colours of the things that are going on in front of me. Obviously, I'm looking at this through the screen, as I say. I won't see this till post. I'm not going to do any post-production colour correction on this because I want to see how good my camera and these lights can be. Because obviously you can adjust your white balance on your camera, but you can also adjust the lighting's white balance to try and even out your image. Okay, so the specs on the back here, I'll just quickly read these out. Model NL-480, because it's 480 LEDs, and there's 240 of each colour. Power is 28 watts, input is 12 to 15 volts DC. Bi-colour, the Kelvin level is 3,200 to 5,600, and the size is showing here as 112 by 200 by 48 millimeters. There you go, that's handy. That's all the information you probably would need to know. That's basically it really, because they are a very simple design, panel light. I have used one on for about an hour or so, and it got a little bit warm, but it wasn't hot. I mean, this one's been on next to me now for like 20 minutes, and putting my hand right on the front of it, it's got a little bit of warmth to it, but it's definitely not hot. Nothing compared to how hot it can be underneath a halogen lamp. In the winter, that actually can be quite nice, but when you're trying to film stuff, the yellowness is not great. So your remaining question might be, but what do I put them on? Do they come with a stand? It depends which package you buy. You can buy the lights alone, you can buy a single, you can buy a double, you can buy triple packs, you can buy them with stands. But what Neewer did for me was they sent me 2 of these panels as are, and they sent me 2 of their stands. Now I personally think these stands might be complete overkill, but I am so happy to have these added to my arsenal of equipment for making videos, because they are, well, I haven't even unboxed them yet, and I know they're heavy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to set up where I want these lights above my bench so I can show you the stands. Okay, so this is both lights plugged in. They're not actually in their final positions. I want them to be facing directly down onto my bench, because that's kind of how I work for my general setup and for product stuff. But for now I've just got them on some small stands that I already owned either side of me. And as you can see, it's really evened out the light. It looks great. Yeah, we still have multiple shadows, and we've still got a bit of shadow coming from that spot lamp behind us. But we're competing with, you know, a 1,000-watt LED lamp up there, which is lighting the entire garage. But I think it is a vast improvement, especially when you come down to something smaller. Something that isn't smaller is the box I'm about to get. God, trying to get this in between lights and a TIG welder. Okay, as you can see, I can't actually get this box fully in frame. This is 2 of the stands they've sent me. These are the Pro Video C-shape stands in black. As I say, there are 2 of them. This box with both of them weighs, according to the shipping label, 20 kilos. So I'm guessing these weigh about 9 kilos each. So let's get one of them out. Or is it going to be easier to just unpack one like... Yeah, I think it is. Let's just get the contents of one stand out, and then we'll look at it individually, and then we'll put it together. Okay, I found a lot of the weight. It's in the base. Another one of the little booklets. Very simple instructions. This is one of the things I like about this sort of stuff. It doesn't need to have an instruction booklet. It only needs to have a small piece of paper like that. If you can't work it out from those simple instructions, well, that's not their problem. Okay, there's more weight in that. Oh god. So here are our legs for the base. As a fabricator, someone who makes things and is interested in engineering, that is a really smart idea. The legs are even because they're 3 different lengths. And then in one direction they should swing out. Oh yeah, they've got definite like lobes where they go. Again, this is too big for my desk. Build quality wise, it's strong materials. These look like cast parts, and they actually look alright. There is some what we would call apprentice marks around this roll pin here. And the inside of the hole is a little grubby. That isn't rust. As far as I can tell, it looks like copper. Or something like that. I'm not really sure. I believe this will be the main sort of stanchion. So there is the end that goes into that socket. And then this extends from... This thing's going to be huge. Okay, so it's a compressed length. It's, you know, 128 centimetres. It's worth noting that these are spring-loaded. That's so if someone was to undo this with a light on the end of it and it falls down, it's going to protect the lighting equipment by bouncing. Some stands will use like an air cushion system where the tube is sealed and it's got a small hole in it, so if someone undoes it and the weight brings the tripod down, rather than slamming into the bottom again and possibly breaking your light, it reduces that by slowing the speed, like a descender. But this is just done with springs. So it is worth noting that when stowed, they might be under compression. I'm a little scared to open the next one. Yeah, that's got tension on it as well. So how long is this when it's fully extended? Apologies I can't do this on camera, but I will show you this from another angle in a minute when it's all together. 2 sections is just over 2 meters. Let's extend the third section. The third section adds another meter 10. So the actual pole itself is about 3 meters long. When you include the height of the stand, we're talking 3.5 meters off the ground. This is a tall lighting rig. So as I say, this stand for my uses is a little bit overkill, but actually the versatility of it means that this is going to be, as I say, a great addition to my arsenal of equipment because I can fit anything onto this. I also do stills photography using flash pods and stuff like that, so having something like this gives me the opportunity to have things much higher than I could have before. But it's still, you know, when it's all compacted down, it's a usable size in a garage. It's very heavy and sturdy. Now I understand the weight because of the height, but we're not done yet. Okay, so we've got a couple of clamps and a single arm. I think I'd only need to use one of these clamps, so I'll take one of these off. How can we do that? Can we do that? Yes, you can. Just slides off the end. And then we've got a ratcheted system here, so you can get it at the right angle. This obviously mounts on the top of the stand, and then you can put your lights on the end of here. This is the fittings. These are spigot fittings. I can't remember the exact name and the size of them, but it's a very standard type of fitting which is used on flashes and video lights and all sorts of things like that in photography. And it's actually on both ends, so I could probably use one stand for both lights if I so wished. Okay, sorry the illusion has been broken. It's not a professional looking garage, it's a very normal everyday garage with a bit that looks professional for filming. It's the secret to everything. Anyway, as you can see, these stands are sizable. You attach them on the top, as I mentioned, with this ratcheting system, and it allows you to move the arm wherever you want it here, around, and then you just clamp that in place. And then this one will allow you to extend it, move it backwards, whatever you need. Stand back. Okay, just gone freehand for a minute so I can show you. So you've got your mounting option there, mounting option up there. This adjuster here does this, so you can change where you want that. I've just realised that if you to here, then we undo the ratchet side. Okay, so yes, you can do this. So as I said, this is already about 3.5 meters. So this is going to take you up to over 4. So for these little lights, this is a little bit overkill, but I'm not complaining because it is extremely versatile and can do much more than is required. Okay, sorry if it wasn't too clear in that shot, but as you can see, I normally work in this sort of an area with this much sort of filming going on. I don't normally have something so large that I need to film, and I don't have a huge amount of space to do that, but I hope you could see what you needed to see. I think we're looking at 2 ends of the scale here. These LED light panel lights, built really nicely, work really well, fantastic price. I'm really impressed with them. As I say, I was going to buy them, and then they offered them to me, so win for me. And I think, as I say, there would be a great addition to pretty much any YouTuber who can use lighting to aid their videos. If you're just doing piece to camera, if you're filming in a garage, if you're doing work on something, whatever you do, if you can use lighting, it's only going to help. And as I say, with older cameras that might need a little extra light, it can really bring the quality out in that camera by having extra lighting. So I think that these are sort of an entry-level, prosumer level light. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, they're not flood lamps to light entire sets, but they're very good for small things like this. I'm actually going to also use them in product photography, stills photography, because I've realised they've got enough output to do that, especially when using like a product photography box. Now, as I say, you can buy those lights on their own. They've got the universal style adapters, so you can buy a multitude of different stands, clamps, brackets, anything that suits what you need it to do. You can buy them with the little stands like the ones I've shown you. As I say, they look very similar to the ones they have, but I don't want to say they're the same as Neewer's, because I don't know that they are. These are a different brand. But if I was going to use a stand, well, I have these, so I would use these because they're so much more heavy duty, and I know that if I bump into this, I'm not going to knock it over as easily as these, which do wobble around. So if you are a smaller YouTuber and you've just got a small studio, or even just a desk setup or something like that, the smaller stands would be okay, different clamps and mounts and stuff. If you do proper studio stuff, or you have a more permanent setup, or you want more flexibility to use other equipment on the stands, these stands in themselves are very nice. The build quality of them is, you can tell it's not top notch. Like, you can tell that these don't cost £500–600 a stand. I believe these are about 100 and... I'm trying to remember how much these are, but it's somewhere between £100 and £200 for a pair. That is a very good price for what you get. Good solid metal construction of everything. The Allen key is literally just in case you need to nip up any of these, but none of these are loose. They're all nylocked. Yeah, they're all nylocked, so once they're done up, they're not going to undo themselves. I think it's a very good, more professional end prosumer piece of kit compared to the lights. And if you're after a tall stand, as I say, this is nearly 4 meters tall when you use everything. Okay, well, I think that's pretty much all I need to say about these. They're pretty straightforward pieces of equipment. Neewer, thank you very much for working with me and sending me these items. As I say, I've used your products in the past. I've absolutely loved them. And these are fitting in exactly as I expect your equipment, which is functionally very good, build quality very good, build finish, yeah, you can tell they're not quite so expensive as, say, the really high-end stuff, but the price difference is huge. If you ever get into making videos or doing photography or anything like that, you'll very quickly realise that things cost a fortune. Yes, you do get very, very good equipment for that money, but sometimes I feel like they're charging a bit too much for what you get. This is, I think, is a great level that it does the job, but it doesn't break the bank. I'm going to put some Amazon affiliate links in the description to the lights and to these stands, and I'll also be adding them to my Amazon storefront, just so you can find the products if you want to. Check out Neewer, all the different things they do. They do a vast variety of photography and video working equipment, and when I look for stuff, they are the people that I look to first. A couple of other brands as well, but mostly them, because I had such a good experience with the things that they make. They have a wide variety of items, and they all, up until now, my experience with them has been very, very satisfactory to excellent. So again, because I do things completely honestly, I was sent the stands for free, I have been sent the lights for free. I was not asked to say anything, I was not asked to even mention anything. They literally just said, let me know what you would like, here you go, try these out, and just give us a review video. They didn't ask for any more than that. So this is my open, honest review of the Neewer NL-480 dimmable bi-colour light, LED panel lights, and these stands, which are what I would call large size studio stands. If you found this video useful, please hit that like button. If you'd like to see more stuff like this, hit that subscribe button. I do a vast variety of videos, to be honest with you. I'm both a product reviewer, a motorcycle vlogger, a metal artist, all sorts of things all put together. So if you fancy a bit of that, hit that subscribe button. And if you really like my channel, consider joining my Patreon for just $1 a month. You get to see videos early, you get to private message me, which you don't get to do through my other social media platforms really, and you also get to be part of the Q&As. Thanks for watching, catch you next time. Bye bye. If you enjoyed this video and the other content on the channel, please consider following the links in the description to show your support.